I have to tell you, I'm a little bit of a geek when it comes to Google Analytics. I love to look at my stats almost every single morning, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is how to set it up. So it's really very simple. You open a Google Analytics account. You follow the setup form, and you'll be asked to put in the address of your website. And once you do that, it creates a little bit of code. The code goes into your website. Usually in the header section, it tells you where to put it. You can have a programmer do this if you're really uncomfortable with that. And then once that code is set into your site, it starts tracking all the movements that's happening on your site. And it's just unbelievable. It tells you everything that you want to know about everything. So let's go through a couple of the things. The numbers do not lie. From the amount of visitors and return visitors to the time spent on each page to the social interaction, you can understand what is attracting and keeping visitors on your site. Why is this important? Because if you don't know what they're enjoying looking at or reading or watching, how will you know what to give them more of? How will you know which products are more of an interest than others? Comparing the social engagement, which means not only where they arrive from, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Pinterest, but based on which social site is sending the most visitors and what they do once they're on the site. Do they look and read or disappear after 10 seconds? Also, now that most sites have social sharing buttons, we can track this as well. How do we know if the public likes our posts and content? Google Analytics gives all the data we need to know what's working and what isn't. For example, if a page has an embedded video and the public is on that page for 7 minutes, I know they were reading and watching. If they're only there for 30 seconds, they weren't. You can also create custom reports if you don't want to look at everything. You can simplify it and just get the data you want using dimensions, which are the attributes of your visitors and how they got to you, keywords, traffic sources, etc., and the metrics, which is the collected data from the site, visits, revenue, conversion rate, etc., and you can fine-tune to get just the answers that you want. You can also set up goals. And goals would be the primary metric for measuring how well your site fulfills business objectives. A goal is a website page which a visitor reaches once they have made a purchase or completed another desired action, such as registration or download. I get this all the time. What is entrance rate, bounce rate, and exit rate? So I'm just going to give you the quick definition. This entrance rate, this metric identifies the number of entrances to your site. It will also always be equal to the number of visits when applied over your entire website. This metric is also useful when combined with particular content pages, at which point it will indicate the number of times a particular page served as the entrance to your site. In other words, if you put a link on a particular blog post and you want to get traffic to that blog post, you'll be able to tell if they entered by that blog post and then if they went elsewhere after that or if they left or what. But you'll know that your, let's say your tweets were working because it was driving traffic to them entering on that page. Bounces and bounce rate. This field identifies the number of single page visits to your site over the selected dimension. For example, if you apply this metric to the ad campaign dimension, it displays the number of single page visits to your site by users that reached your site via a particular ad campaign. And the exit rate, this metric identifies the number of exits from your site. As with entrances, it will always be equal to the number of visits when applied over the entire site. Anyway, okay, so we're going to do some case studies, and I'm going to show you a whole bunch of slides that I've put together for you. So in this first case study, we're going to look at Branding You Better, which is a blog that I have. and I went through some of the stats. And so 14 months ago, this blog was very low on visitors and readership and had a bounce rate of at least 65%. Today, the blog is high on readership. I would say it's about 5 to 6 times the amount of people that was there before. And the visitors and the bounce rate on this site is now like 1%, 1.3%. It all started in May 2011. So many people would contact me and ask me questions about software, social media, websites, email issues, and more. In addition, I was building a lot of WordPress and Concrete 5 sites. So each client would need a little tutorial to understand how to work their new site. So I decided to start creating screencast video tutorials. And they could be used over and over and over, and then I wouldn't have to teach individually anymore. So I created blog posts, explained in the post as well as in the video how to do something like brand your YouTube channel, how to use TweetAdder. I did a 10-video series on WordPress blogs, setting, plugins, advanced features. I also would SEO tag all of these posts, and so anyone who was looking for instructions would land right on that page. As I continued to create these posts and videos, I saw my readership was going up. They were staying longer, reading more pages, and my bounce rate was going down. Then in May 2011, I attended Savor the Success to Rock the World, New York City 2-day conference. And I thought, there's so many women in this room, and most already have great, successful brands, but there's got to be a way that I could help them, and they could still help me. So Brand Interviews was born. I created a new section on the blog called Brand Interviews and wrote to many of these women as well as other artists, photographers, designers, and entrepreneurs that I knew and asked them if they'd like to be featured and get some free PR. Well, that worked out to be very successful, and now there's about 55 interviews. Some are video through Skype, and some are just written and have imagery, and some have just video clips, and I publish one each week. So why were these interviews working? Because most people like to read a story and tell a story. And second, because people love to read brand success stories and learn tips. And third, because I know how to present them in their best light and SEO tag the page to draw traffic to them. In addition, each new interview draws different crowds depending on who that person is connected to and the industry that they're in. So they come to read that interview, and then we'll go to the interviews page and maybe read another or two. So in addition to social media, became a great advantage so that the interview could be shared, and both the followers and the interviewee could spread the word.